variety.
What is with the adult-oriented themed mustaches? Is that
Adult.
better?
I'm just saying,
Yes.
don't be like going off on like a tangent, like, like, oh yeah, oh man, that really itches, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be saying that.
It's just no. It's just like I said. It just looks creepy. It does.
And we are live. We are live. And let me put that out there for the Facebook and the Twitter.
And I'm getting the iPad so we can read the comments.
Somebody ring the bell.
Ding ding.
We need a bell on this. We need a bell on the podcast.
We're not gonna have a theme song.
bell.
We gotta have some sort of.
Guys, if you donate to our Patreon, we can get a bell and a theme song.
Now,
A cowbell?
I don't know about
not a Taco Bell. Taco Bell is disgusting.
Put this out there on the Facebook, even though I think we're starting to see we got our regulars already here.
I guess Mercedes and Michelle, and I'm not even on the show yet. I'm not even on the thing yet.
All right, everyone, and hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, and I am joined on the other end of the tin cannon string this week by... We got Easy with us.
Hello, everyone, and to a wonderful Canada Day today. There are some people celebrating it. There's some people that are not. That is a whole other discussion for another day.
I don't keep up with those discussions for my own holidays. So, but
it's fine.
But enjoy.
Yeah, you guys.
But enjoy maple syrup and hockey and Bret Hart Day.
Yeah, and you guys enjoy singing "America." Fuck yeah.
Actually, real talk. There was a wrestler, an independent wrestler in St. Louis who used to come out to that theme song, and on the back of his tights it said he had red, white, and blue tights, and on the back of it said "fuck yeah."
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my god, who is he?
I can't remember if it was like Jason something. Like he didn't wrestle for very much longer after that. He was good. He had some got the crowd was really into the song, going along with it, McDonald's, fuck yeah, Walmart, fuck yeah, the Gap, fuck yeah, going into that whole thing. But eventually,
oh my god,
he just kind of went away, and it's just kind of like, okay. I mean, it's independent wrestling. People, for better or worse, come and go. But
yeah, people go.
There's tangent number one. Now we're gonna go to joining us again. His workload has finally lightened up a bit. We got Eric Wade back.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, everybody? I just made it, so we can start the show now.
Yes, and then
potentially. Nope, that bit went. That bit went there. It's all good.
And and we might have OG Nick coming in. He's taking care of a few things, but he might enter the call just a little bit later on. I think that's him.
Oh, I think that's him.
Michelle got her prizes yesterday.
Yes, glad she got them. Glad she enjoys them. Nick, what's up, man?
Hello.
So,
what's up, everybody?
So, okay, Raw's surprisingly good.
Here, Ray says, that's a great shirt. Did you see my ICP shirt from the bootleg drop? Is that the one that you got me for at first?
Yeah, this is the one that was supposed to be yours, but it wasn't but still.
Now that I see it, it's like, oh shit, I do want it now. God damn it.
Now that you realize that this could have been yours.
Yeah, now that I see it,
now we got
the
4 horsemen here. We got the 4 horsemen here, so I call being Arn Anderson.
I'll be Tully. I'm always Tully.
I know how to do the spine buster.
I was related to Tully, and he was also the one that I wore a suit for to meet whenever I met him at StarCast at All In Weekend.
The workhorseman.
The workhorseman, indeed. So if you've never seen the show before, this is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I've been watching wrestling with Nick for over 10 years. Went to high school together. I met Eric and EZ at All In and StarCast. We love wrestling. We became friends through wrestling. We love sharing our love of...
Said, hey, brother, can you share a square? I need a square over here.
We love sharing our love of pro wrestling with each and every one of you out there. However, just like each and every one of you out there, we are just fans. Our opinions that of any other fans. We avoid insider terms. At the end of the day, we're not insiders. We're not wrestlers. We're just marks. And we're going to have a very interesting episode this week. Which is kind of weird because, we got some people in the chat saying that Raw was good, so maybe we should be discussing
Well,
it.
sorry, people. We ain't talking SmackDown or Raw today. There's too much that happened.
Too much happened in the AEW front, and that's pretty much just basically all we kind of collectively had time to see was the AEW stuff.
And one particular person that believes his opinions matter most than anybody else.
Well, we're going to start with that.
Yeah.
We're going to start with that right now. So,
and we were discussing how long should we take for us to rant about this. And I said, let's give each other 10 minutes to say what we had on.
Well, Nick isn't in our group chat, so we'll catch him up to speed real quick. But basically we'll just
when was it? Last Saturday, right? Last Saturday is when the promo happened.
Yeah, so I gotta start from the top from the people that don't know what we're talking about, or maybe who aren't privy to all the things that we say in the group chat. So
we're covering 2 episodes of Dynamite this week, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah, I know. But we're gonna start with this. We're gonna start with this guy who's apparently some people's patron saint, but not mine. Eddie Kingston,
not mine anymore.
Did just kind of a generic. I mean, I don't want to say generic, but he kind of did a rah promo after the Saturday edition of AEW Dynamite, kind of basically just talking about AEW and how he feels it has some things that are better for the wrestlers than WWE. Nothing, typical. Our company is better. Promo. That's been done by everybody ever since that kind of line was crossed.
Well, what was his major mic drop of the moment was you won't see disrespected legends on our show or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That was like the thing that really, that was a shot that was like that was the shot that was heard by many to be like a shot too far.
I think personally this was kind of in response to like the major releases that WWE not really major, but
it wasn't
that was a response to the WWE releases, to be honest. Well, that's what I kind of got it for, because it literally did happen days ago, and I feel like Eddie was just standing up to the guys that were just released
week. I don't think Eddie was doing any of that. I think it was just kind of just an interview. But somebody got really butthurt about the interview, and that somebody is somebody that we should all think like, because you think like him, because you ins the businesses, bros. I'm talking about Bully Ray.
Russo?
Yeah, Vince Russo. My Bully Ray and my Vince Russo are pretty close to the same. So Bully Ray basically just told Eddie Kingston that he needed to shut the fuck up, stay in his lane. Okay.
Wow.
I will save my opinion for the end, because you've heard that I'm not a Bully Ray fan at all on this podcast. But some other people, this is their time now. I'm going to pass. This is an opportunity to have other people say they either love Bully Ray or hate Bully Ray or indifferent to Bully Ray, and we're going to start with Nick. Nick, your thoughts on Bully Ray's comments?
I don't care about Bully Ray to start. He has a show, so that's cool. But if he didn't have a show, I would literally. He's not like a guy who'd be like, man, I really wonder what Bully Ray thinks about this. Like, he's not one of those wrestlers. But it seems like he got overly upset by this. I mean, it wasn't like on television. I 100% agree that AEW they take shots at WWE too much, and it makes them look bush league and like petty and butthurt about just the wrestling business. Like, I think I don't like when they do that, but to do it like after the show's over, and even though I don't like when they do that, you still, like, in the context of the wrestling world, like, WWE is the big bad guy. They've been the only game in town for a long time. So, pretending like it's outrageous to ever talk about them, I think is silly, because it's just like, it's not weird. You always use the McDonald's analogy. Like, it wouldn't be weird if a good restaurant compared themselves to McDonald's. But because everyone knows about McDonald's, everyone knows about WWE, you're not driving anyone away, but it does make you look bad. But after like a dark match promo after the show, I don't see why. It seems like such a nothing thing. Like, I don't know why there's a controversy about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If it was on the show, I would agree. I would say like, why would you like talk about this? It just makes you look like a crybaby. But like Triple H did the 20-minute sell of someone getting his legs up on a dark match. Like stuff that happens after the show doesn't really matter. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
So
see, if it was on Dynamite, then it's like, we already did the WWE jokes in 2019. I think we're done with it now. But if they just went off the air and this was like one of the last shows you're doing in Jacksonville, you got to go out with some sort of bang. And especially, and apparently I saw this on Twitter, that this was the very first Saturday Night Dynamite since Brody Lee. I think he either won or lost the TNT belt.
Won.
It won it. Okay, that's what I thought. So,
right.
It's a little bit emotional too, but again, it's like this is one of the last shows you're doing in Jacksonville. You gotta just have fun with it,
right?
They're gonna be going back on tour finally. We're gonna have finally fantastic crowds at last,
right?
And we had to start in Miami. Why?
Well, that's another debate for another day. But
yes,
I'm really interested to hear what Eric has to say because. And I know, and Nick knows these friends of ours too. They're the non-affiliated friends from All In that not really is active on this channel. They look up to Bully Ray. They like anytime Bully Ray says something on that show, you goddamn better well think that that's the fucking truth.
We'll be in a group chat watching a show, like watching, let's just say, for example, Hell in a Cell, which it didn't happen, but theoretically, watching Hell in a Cell, and me and Eli Geek, and even another friend, Ray, or maybe even, are you guys watching Hell in a Cell? It's good, it's bad, I don't like it, I like it. And then the next day, after Bully Ray has already done his podcast and given his piece, then you'll hear these people be like, oh yeah, last night's show was good or bad. But it's like, well, you couldn't have just decided for yourself. Like, you could have just said, while we're all watching live, you couldn't have just. So after a while, it became kind of an inside joke of like, oh, let's just see what Bully Ray says first, or do Bully Ray approve of it first, because we don't know if it's good or not unless he says so.
The big one where it finally reached a boiling point was at Full Gear last year, where like. We're watching the show and like, wow, good match, and then like the next day it's like the next day immediately it was like, it actually wasn't that good. Like,
yeah, it wasn't that good, and here's why. But it's just the complaint.
Well, Bully Ray said that there were no matches that actually had surprising finishes. So and
this could have been better. Or that could have been better.
And the referee did this, and dude stumbled a little bit and was a little slow breaking up the pin. So it actually really wasn't very good at all. And I'm like. Okay, like I've had that moment in like after a movie where I like walking out of the theater, like one of the whatever the second sequel to Star Wars was. I'm walking out of there, I saw it with Nick, and I'm like, man, that was kind of a good movie. And then I got to think about like, actually, it really wasn't. But okay, we all have that moment,
right?
But a lot of people, and I mean, like, they're not the only ones. There are people that do that with Meltzer. There are people that do that with Cornette,
yeah.
Bully Ray, with fucking the plethora of YouTube channels. I've yet to have anybody change their mind based on anything I've said on this show, which, it is what it is. So... But to me, here's my only like real gripe with it, other than the fact that it's Bully Ray being stupid. But here's Bully Ray, who.
Well, how do you think him and Mark Henry's conversations are going lately?
I kind of hope that Mark Henry isn't like the Bully Ray like destroy AEW and turn it into the WWE from within like Bully Ray kind of wants, But here's what kind of just irked me about it. Bully Ray shitting on AEW. Nothing fucking new. Okay? He's Bully Ray. He's trying to maintain relevancy. He's a fucking has-been. Legend, but a has-been. He's got
I remember during All In, I was even like, damn, can this guy go away already? Like, not only was he in the Battle Royal, he kept on coming back later to interrupt spots, and then even in the New York show, he was all over the place. And so I was like, dude, this guy just won't go away. Like,
And
he just
Bully Ray was
gracefully
the
won't
main
bow
reason that
down.
New York show was pretty average because he was the one saying like, "Oh, we don't need the New Japan guys. Oh, we don't need the AEW guys. We got Matt Taven. Got Matt Taven, y'all.
Madison Square Shaman.
We got Matt
Right,
Square
right.
Taven. We don't need no
Yeah,
Cody Rhodes. We don't need no Young Bucks. We got Matt Taven, y'all."
Yeah,
What are
and
those
how
guys going
many-
to do for me in
hold
5
on,
years?
hold on. And,
Yeah.
and how many of those people at Madison Square Garden were cheering for Matt Taven to win that ladder match?
There was one.
0.
There's
Okay,
at least
okay,
five. Actually, at least
No,
five.
Okay, I'll say 2.
I'd say at
I
least
know
five.
there's
Well,
one
that-
friend of mine
like-
in Michigan who's a Matt Taven girl.
But
It's like,
but
yeah,
here's
okay.
going back to my original point. But this is also Bully Ray, the guy that first thing he did when he went to Impact or TNA at the time, started shitting on WWE and doing promos about we got fucked over by the WWE and Vince and all the suits up in Stanford. You can take our name, but you can't take away this and fuck you. And he's saying the same thing when he was in ECW, like.
Hey, that was gonna be part of my rant.
The secondary promotions, or I shouldn't say secondary, but like the number 2 promotions that are not the big WWE, always have the us versus them mentality, and most people seek out those promotions because they're tired of WWE. So the rah-rah speech is just part of that. Eddie Kingston did his after a
But I've
dark
seen
match.
so many.
Bully Ray did all this stuff on live TV.
Yeah.
And now he's all
I
of a sudden.
preferred going to dark matches for WWE because they were more fun, they were more loose, and wrestlers typically went on the mic afterwards and would spit shit. And sometimes it would be shading on other companies, and sometimes it wouldn't. Enzo Amore, you know what I mean, like Dean Ambrose. I've seen them do promos where it's like, yeah, we're the best, and you know why, and at the time it was true and blah blah blah. But if you can deliver it, you should be able to receive it, and especially if you're not even working for either company, but you're still getting butthurt. Like, what's your problem here, bud?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like, okay, I can understand he went like, hey, if he was actually giving constructive criticism, like, hey, man, Eddie Kingston, you're one of the best promos in the game, man. You don't need to be taking pot shots at a different company to make yourself seem cool. You're better than that. But he's like all butthurt about it, and it's like you were never butthurt about anybody taking. You were never butthurt about anybody taking a pot shot at WWE for years. But now when AEW does it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, what was me? It's like, well, is it because AEW didn't call you bully? Is it because you're not on the booking committee? Is it because you don't have a job? Is it because they're not interested in hiring you?
Confirmed.
Is that it?
Fully loaded.
Yeah.
Bully Ray versus Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Tables match.
Oh, okay.
So
Can I
yeah,
do-
that's basically
Return of the Dudleys.
after me and Eric having to listen to why Bully Ray is great, and you may be wondering why I kind of take a lot of pot shots at Bully Ray. Do you kind of get it
you
now?
never heard? You didn't hear? I didn't get a chance to write about it.
Okay, go ahead, finish your rant, because then we'll move on
It's all
to.
good. No. So after about a quarter of that rant was taken away because I was literally going to say the same thing, but I was basically saying like, okay, Bully, aren't you the same guy that did those shots when you were in ECW and in Impact? Like, really? If he had done like a career in broadcasting and he's like doing this, and it's like, okay, I get that, but you're a former wrestler. There are wrestlers that take shots at the WWE all the fucking time. AEW is no different. But Impact's done it. The WCW has done it. I'm pretty sure the NWA has done it. All of the small Midwestern promotions before they got bought out of the WWE, I'm pretty sure they were taking shots at each other all the time. This is what people do. This is what wrestling is. They will take shots on each other's companies all the time. And you're so butthurt on Eddie Kingston, who's the locker room leader of AEW, who's probably in this generation one of the best promo makers ever. It's like, Are you really that hurt of all the concerning things that are going on? We've had people that lost their jobs at the WWE, but I don't see you bitching about that. Did you? No. And I don't even listen to Busted Open. The only time I've ever listened to Busted Open was at StarCast. And it was fun to see it because, yeah, I see
And I didn't even listen
one
to it
half
then.
of Team 3D right there.
Yeah, I didn't
So
even listen
it's
to it.
it just seems so freaking hypocritical. So
Well, like
to
Nick
end
said,
this,
I think
to end this finally, since we're just talking with our rants, how about you stay in your lane?
That sounds like
Yeah.
fun. But I did like Nick's quote.
Hey,
You know,
I
basically
know
it's the
how to do
opposite.
promos
Like, you know,
too.
he's saying he's not somebody that he looks after. Like, I never think, what's Bully Ray think? It's like he says that, and then other people, you know, it's like, oh God, can we like this? What does Bully Ray think?
No.
Yeah,
Who gives
but
a
like Nick
shit?
said, it's just like overly sensitive for a thing that was for a dark promo after the show is done. It's like why are you
Isn't he
so
in his
upset about that?
50s
Like,
now? It's like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
of
we
all
gotta
the
move
things
on
to be
to
worrying about.
we gotta move on to some
Like,
happy
God.
stuff.
Thank
2
you.
episodes of Dynamite. I'm gonna start with the
I have
Saturday.
a segment breakdown here. I took notes on everything, so if we can just follow
Hey.
that if you don't mind.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the first match for Saturday was Hangman Page and Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought this was decent. It's just kind of. I'm not gonna lie. Saturday outside the main event, it's outside the main event and the Conan Tully face off really didn't do a hell of a lot for me.
you
I
know,
like
when
that
we all were
Conan was on
complaining when
AEW though. Like, I was a huge fan of him during LAX.
I really like the Horseman
well,
style beatdown he took too. But anyway,
well,
I'll let Nick take the lead with the segment by segment breakdown.
yeah.
Well, yeah. So Hobbs versus Hangman. Eric, what were you gonna say about that one?
Just that I'm like every time Raw would happen. Oh, okay, it's a Monday Night Raw, and we're gonna start off with the authority segment, and then we're gonna start off with a match that then gets disqualified, and then at the end of the night we're gonna have a triple threat or a tag team because whoever interfered in that match, and it just happened every fucking time. Where you're like, I know how Raw's gonna start, so I can skip the first half hour or whatever. That's kind of how I feel about AEW lately, with Hangman coming out and beating someone, where it's like Hangman comes out,
Or
beats
losing.
someone. Just watch like I'm saying, like if you just watch it every time or whatever, it's just like I'm tired of the opening. It's become formulaic where it's like I don't want to see Hangman come out, drink a beer, beat someone, whatever the hell, like be the good guy, whatever. It's just like I'm kind of over that. But I enjoyed the part on yesterday with the whole Hangman thing, so I'm rooting for him again, but I was just gonna try, like I was telling Eli that Saturday AEW, it took me a while to watch because I was just bored of it. I was just like, man,
Right.
for asking for a Saturday of me to watch this or whatever, and you're just gonna give me the same old kind of shit. Like, I'm just gonna skim through it or just have it in the background.
It's funny.
I get
It took
that.
me like 20 minutes to realize on Saturday that like, oh shit, there's Dynamite on, and I turned. I was like, oh. So
You
yeah,
guys
I missed
must
the
have much
Hangman
more
match.
vibrant social lives than me because I was ready right when it started.
Yeah. I will say
That
this.
Saturday was
I
already
will say this
really
much to
good.
play devil's advocate for the Hangman opening the show. You know, he's other than like John Moxley, probably the hottest babyface, or excuse me, good guy in AEW right now. Like Mox, Hangman, and Cody are top 3, and you've got to save Mox for later in the show. So why not start with probably your hottest act? Like I get what
I
you're
agree
saying.
that
I get what
you
you're
never want to
saying.
have any kind of repetition. Like you don't want to have Eric's right. Like those that same formulaic opening of Raw like driving me crazy. And I actually really liked this Hobbs versus Hangman match. I thought it was pretty great, but I agree. Like even if you just have like a crazy awesome like 4.5-star match, if that opens up every single show, that gets boring. Like no matter what it is, eventually it's gonna
Yeah, because
grow
it's like
tired.
I've seen it. I know Hangman will win eventually, no matter how much he struggles, because they're pushing him. So I'm just gonna tune out.
But remember, with we always thought, hey, Hangman's gonna win, and then Brian Cage beat him out of nowhere. So I thought that was good writing on AEW's part when that happened. But it was a good match.
Team Taz really needs a big win soon though, because they're such a great unit.
July 14th. Oh,
we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm excited for next year.
So the next segment was Tully and Conan and their segment. I loved it because I love Tully Blanchard.
I love Conan's comment.
I like Conan's comments.
Still hiring greeters.
I also like this comment about speaking Spanish so he can talk to his grandkids. I thought that was well done. But I really liked how, they had, like I said, we had a Night of Horseman style beatdowns with, spears on Sammy, and then, kind of the switcheroo with FTR taking out Proud and Powerful. Like, I liked that segment. I mean, it wasn't, promo of the year, but it was still, it was good.
It was so legendary, for sure.
I wouldn't call it legendary. I'd call it it was good. It was a good little segment that helped further the storyline, and it was cool to see Conan. And it was cool to see Tully get involved. But it was when I think legendary, I'm thinking these things on different wavelengths. These Rock and these Cena and these
Well, I guess what I'm saying legendary is it depends on from some people's point of views, especially from different cultures. Especially Conan is.
Well, me and Ray think he's legendary for sure. Yeah,
one of the best.
La Parka, Conan,
right.
All those Hispanic.
I'm not saying the people involved aren't legends. I'm saying the interview itself is not going to be one of those it's not oh, you remember when Mick Foley said that, did this promo in ECW? Yeah, that was so good. It's not something like that where I'm thinking it's legendary in the sense of it's gonna be remembered forever because it was just that fucking.
You gotta tune in right now to see what Conan's saying.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
I think it provided a little
O'Brien?
more. It provided a little more context for their name, the Proud and Powerful. Just him talking about all of the living in the city and the stuff like that, and this they were talking about the he went into the racial injustice part of it and just growing up in their rough neighborhood and how they had to be that way. And I think because I always thought it was Proud and Powerful is kind of a weird name, but he made it more about being Latino and having a hard upbringing, having to be proud and powerful of that. And I thought that kind of it made the name make sense to me for the first time, I think. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also we skipped over a really mediocre Young Buck segment. Was in between those two things, but
well, there you
That's
go.
Cool.
Next match is Matt Sydal and Dante Martin. This was kind of just there. It wasn't
two
bad.
St. Louis boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, two St. Louis bar. Yeah, two St. Louis boys, which is nice, but it's
okay.
We know what these guys are capable of, and it's not that. I mean, it's better than that.
Well, my same thoughts are what you just said. It was there and it was nice, whatever. The next day, hearing Simon Miller talk about it, he was like, "You got to go out of your way to watch this match. This was amazing." I was just like, "What? Really?"
It was there.
I hated the Vicky and Andrade segment of this. I have not other than his sit down with JR. Nothing. This has been such a terrible introduction for Andrade. Nothing has been done right.
Why did they even do it? It was so weird.
I don't even.
Yeah, it was so awkward, and then nothing. They never followed up on it until
Babs was calling me
later.
down. Hey, Babs.
He didn't attack the guy or nothing. He didn't cause a distraction. It was just weird. I didn't like it. No.
It was even awkward. As it happened, when it very first came out and he was getting booed or Vicky was getting booed, I was like, okay, I don't think you should be Vicky, but if you really want Andrade to be booed, he's not going to be booed coming in by himself because he's just too good. But if you bring him Vicky, it makes sense. And then I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. And then they just kind of stood there and it was awkward. And then Matt Sydal came out and I was just like, And I really another negative mark on this debut for him.
Yeah, like
I was like, wait,
I'm
he's like,
already
can
like
Andrade just
I'm
beat
already
somebody
like
up
not
already?
pumped up about Andrade. Like other than like the cool matches that we're gonna see, like there's
Andrade
nothing.
Elio.
I'm not like, again, kind of citing what we talked about on last week. I mean, I know Eric wasn't there, but what we talked about in last week's episode with like bloated rosters.
You guys
where
had
we
a
gonna
show
find-
without me?
Yeah,
What the hell, man? Oh,
you
sorry.
know this.
This did have like
just-
one of my
I'm
favorite
just-
moves of the night, though, in this match.
Is it the one
Dante
that
Martin
Mercedes-
hit
This
a
is the one that
crazy
Mercedes
sunset
talked-
flip.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah.
Mercedes was talking about in chat. Yeah.
He did like a swanton bomb, like a standing swanton bomb into a sunset flip. That was so dope.
Yeah.
But other
So-
than that, yeah, it's mediocre.
Yeah, that was a mediocre match with at least a few
Well,
good
apparently,
things.
with
With a few
star
redeeming
making, we'll
qualities.
need to take a turn out to see it.
The next match was a mediocre match with no redeeming qualities, and that was Ethan Page versus Bear Bronson. I'm not on the Bear Bronson Bear Country bandwagon. Say that 5 times fast. Like, I like the fact that they have a Haas team like them in AEW, but it's just like I don't. And I'm not trying to be one of the whole thing like I only like if it's small and do flips. I'm not being that guy either. But I don't know. I've yet to be really like enamored with this team.
They look too much like heavy machinery.
Yes.
They have like the same gear. They look the same. They wrestle similarly.
I thought we were also supposed to hate on Bear Country. That confused me.
Well, that's not the first time I'm going to be confused. You're going to be confused on AEW not really being clear with good and bad alignments, but that's for the next episode. I mean, they're setting up the coffin match with Ethan Page and Darby, which is fine. They're featuring Ethan Page, which is great. They're featuring Darby, which is better. I'm not enamored with this program. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ethan Page isn't stand up. I don't know who he is really. So
I've
people know
liked
him.
this
I knew
promo.
him
I've liked
from
this program so
Impact.
far.
That's it.
But I've liked Ethan. I mean, Ethan Page. I don't know how much he wrestled, but he wrestled like all over the Midwest Indies. So I've seen him.
Yeah, he was a
I've been
big part of Glory
familiarized
Pro.
with him. Yeah, I've known about
Well, it
him for a
seems like
long
a good-
time. But
It
yeah, I
seems
mean,
like a good feud, but he's gonna lose.
Oh, yeah.
but I mean, I think he's pretty special. Like I think his promos are awesome. His in-ring work is really good. He hit the Razor's Edge on Bear Bronson looked really cool. We threw him pretty far for such a big guy. He's got kind of like
That's
some
true,
unexpected
that's true.
strength.
Andrade's things kind of like Miro will get better. We'll see. I mean, I think AEW can pull the rabbit out of the hat with Andrade? Absolutely, but it's just one of those. It's like
Yeah, it's gonna be so burn.
Do something already.
I'm kind of in the whole like the boat of just like, do we
Well,
really
they
need
just
Andrade
fixed
full time in
Miro.
AEW? Does AEW really need Andrade that much? I'd much rather him have been kind of like kind of the part timer they'll bring in from AAA.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. He's kind of the insider from AAA, where they're gonna work that swerve eventually. But
That's
I
on
don't
like
think he's
rather
like
than
an AEW
rather than
guy.
bringing him in to have like a match with Matt Sydal, which will be a good match because it's Andrade and it's Matt Sydal, but it's also on the flip side of all that, it's like, okay, like
Have you played the NWO versus WCW? Side note, really quick. Have you played the N64 game?
oh yeah,
Like, because they would have rosters from like New Japan, and they'd have rosters from AAA and stuff like that. Like, I hope that AEW game does that. That'd be rad.
hmm
Ooh.
That would be rad.
So the next match is Chris Statlander versus the Bunny. I really enjoyed this match because
Loved it.
I enjoyed it,
Yes.
but I mean, I like Chris Statlander, so I really like her.
Statlander's
Orange.
looking good.
Yeah, I like Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy together. Which, by the way, at Walmart in Southern Illinois, very happy about that.
I know what the hell, dude. This guy gets
You're
all
just
the
waiting to get. You're just waiting to get booped by her. That'll satisfy you.
I mean, sure.
I didn't know Trent was having a neck surgery.
Yeah,
this
he
match.
had spinal stenosis.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
like,
we found out.
holy
Yeah, and you
shit.
know what? And you know what? What's shitty? They're just kind of like, oh, and oh shucks, Trent has spinal stenosis.
Yeah.
Oh dear God! It's like, yeah. So you know that's like what pretty well ended Sting's active wrestling career. You know, that's like what essentially retired him. You know.
So you're saying Seth Rollins retired Trent?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. But
damn it, Seth! How many people are you gonna hurt?
But yeah, that's just kind of
Not
like
enough.
like you couldn't have of all the stuff that AEW like will go out of their way to promote. You couldn't have had like one segment from the hospital bed with Chuck and Trent of, hey guys, I'm hurt, I had surgery. You know, shout out to our friends back in Jacksonville. You couldn't have done something like that. Instead, you just had to have Tony Schiavone be like, oh, gee golly gee willikers, Trent may never wrestle again.
It's like that
I did not
came
care
out of
for this
nowhere.
match.
It's like, what the hell?
I'm
Mike
not a
didn't
big
like it.
fan of Statlander though. I think she has a dope
No?
finisher. Her finisher looks awesome. No, I don't know what it is. I don't like the booping thing. I think it's dumb, and I don't like the whole alien thing. Like I don't connect to it at all, and I don't know. She's had some pretty good matches, but she doesn't do anything for me, I guess, personally.
Here's how I think of her. Remember when Emma came out and started popping bubbles?
Yeah.
What?
It was like, oh man, but she was like a really good wrestler. And then when she became Tennille Dashwood, when she just like ruled it, Statlander's gonna get there. But yeah, the booping thing, like Bailey even stopped tugging eventually. It's gonna, she'll reach.
Am I the only one that likes the boop?
I enjoy
At first, like, I actually didn't like it, but
like
now
it's
it's
kind
like,
of
actually, it's funny.
it's kind of funny, but it's like eventually it's
Well, it
kind
could
of
be
like
not for everyone, but she's
I mean, it's
a
like
damn good wrestler.
the
It's a
boop-
goofy gimmick for a serious
yeah,
wrestler.
she backs it
it's
up.
like-
But like the boop thing's kind of like it's funny because it's like some people may like really think it's like the Bushwhackers licking somebody. It's like okay, it's just kind of a thing. Like when we get the crowds back in, and there's like kids in the front row, they're gonna want to go get booped. Like they're gonna think that's kind of cool. It's like the equivalent. It's kind of like all the little kids wanted to wear the Rey Mysterio mask and sit in the front row so that way he would put his head up to them, like on SmackDown. Like that's something that could draw the kids in. It's like, oh, it's a fun gimmick for the kids, and
right, and they're
get
baby
booped.
faces. They're
Somebody that I used to know, he was actually sitting like right by the stage ramp, and he said that Mysterio actually goes up to and he says, "Do not try this at home." That's apparently what he told me.
Michelle,
Michelle
Michelle seems really, really upset about your comparison.
But I stand by it. No, because if you Statlander is an amazing wrestler, but she's doing the goofy gimmick just like how Emma would when she was an amazing wrestler, and then she's just doing goofy gimmick. Their time will come, but for now, like Geek's saying, it's an intro point for the fans. It's an intro point for the kids. It's an intro point for whatever.
And
but
to my point,
down the line,
they could keep still kind of doing the gimmick, but just like as she gets more serious, like it's just kind of gone too less. Does that make sense? It's kind of like, eventually like Jeff Jarrett like still carried the guitar, but wasn't a country singer anymore. Triple H still did the pedigree, but he wasn't the snobby rich guy anymore. Like something like that. Like you'd still kind of keep some of the alien.
That's their early Dewey. This is the middle Dewey.
Then eventually.
You guys are a fan of Walk Hard at all. Miss A
you don't want no part of this shit.
You don't want no part of this shit. And you never once paid for drugs, Eric. Not once.
Fucks on these cats.
You don't want to hear it.
All right, so we got to talk
about my Orange Cassidy story is nothing but inspiring.
Orange Cassidy to Santino Marella. Okay, now
let
you're taking.
Let me tell you about my Orange Cassidy story.
All right,
my Orange Cassidy story is every Wednesday. We use our AEW toy to introduce the kids to AEW. First of all, because it's inspiring as hell, but also to take your hands out of your pockets, turn your shoulders, and do a 180 turn. So let's see it. And the kids love it. I show them a picture of me and my Cassidy together, and then I show them the toy, and they go, no way, he looks just like the toy. Even the T-shirt's the same. I'm like, yeah, that's what he looks like. They love it.
That's awesome.
But
God bless
that
the
is pretty
kids.
cool. But we gotta
Where's
talk
the
about.
butcher?
I don't know, but we gotta talk about something
Isn't he
that's
injured?
very good. We gotta talk about this match because this was a damn fine match, and this is the biggest redeeming quality of an otherwise mediocre episode of Dynamite. A very, very genuine match of the year contender with Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega. A couple times I really thought Jungle Boy was gonna do it, and it was enough to the point where I actually went, "Damn it," when he didn't win. But this is a great match. This is probably now my top 5. It wasn't as good as, as Britt versus Rosa or as Walter versus Ciampa or Shingo versus Jeff Cobb, but I mean, it's
I have a new contender after
It's
today.
up there.
We'll talk about later.
okay.
Now I got Tarzan voice stuck in my head. Thanks, guys.
All right, but yeah, great match. Anybody
It felt like a really big deal from the start.
Mhm.
I think it was presentation was awesome. I'm glad everybody got sent back at the start. I still wish that Marco Stunt wasn't part of Jurassic Express, but they're obviously not going to get rid of him in that capacity.
They need something to do.
Yeah,
with
I don't
Marco.
mind. I don't mind Marco Stunt.
Imagine
That's
if he was
fine.
an SCU.
I like him on Jurassic Express.
I like him when he gets like thrown across the ring by Lance Archer, but I don't like him. He drags Jungle Boy
When-
down like as Luchasaurus
when
does at
he's
this point
fun
too, but Marco
size.
Stunt really does. Kenny Omega took a butt buster from the ref. He like fell down on his ass when the ref pushed him. I thought that was stupid. That was really my only complaint. But Kenny Omega just can't help himself but do silly stuff every once in a while, and I wish he wouldn't. But other than that, I think the match is awesome.
That's why that's why he's killing the goddamn business, because he does that silly shit.
Kenny is a serious wrestler. He's 5-star Japan. He would never do stupid shit like grow weird facial hair and host crazy segments on Wednesday night. So
I
let's just
I did
stop
find
that
this
right there.
this funny. When AEW first started, and Kenny was not the badass cleaner Kenny from New Japan that a friend of mine thought of him as. They were very, very upset, and they were like, AEW stupid. Why would Kenny give up being the greatest wrestler of all time to go do stupid shit, go do stupid golf cart meme stuff with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara? Why would you do that? You used to be the 7-star person, and now, you're reduced to a comedy character. He used to be a badass, and now he's, a joke. And I'm like, a badass? This is the same man that wrestled a match in New Japan dressed as Princess Jasmine because it was Halloween. Kenny was always doing...
And didn't Kenny fight an 8-year-old?
He wrestled a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
7-year-old girl.
9-year-old.
Yeah. But her point was it was New Japan. He was serious, awesome Kenny, and they've ruined that. And it's like, no, even in New Japan, he had funny stuff going on. When he was the 7-star best bout machine, he was doing matches in Disney princess cosplay. So,
Yep.
Can anyone also sell me on the North Carolina thing? I think it's so stupid.
Still don't get it.
It's supposed to
I
be
don't get it.
stupid. It's just supposed
Well,
to
it's
be
not
stupid.
like stupid, and
When
it's
is
like
it-
I guess it's whatever. It's the YouTube channel humor. I don't think any of those guys are funny at all. So I don't think that being the elite, that kind of humor to me is pretty cringy, and it reminds me of that. So
It's kind of it's like a it's like a Stan Lee cameo where it's like, how they gonna work North Carolina in this time?
you
but
could
what-
always just not work it in. That's always an option for every other wrestler that works.
Yeah, but this is also Kenny Omega, and he thinks outside the box.
Well,
I
but
do
this
want to
is
say
also
I do want to say this. Whenever
It's
they
also
have Dynamite
silly.
in North Carolina, I really want to hear him go. And he goes to North Dakota. When they're in North Carolina, I want to see that.
Oh, or no, they go South Carolina.
Yeah,
Like, oh.
yeah.
So
So
you know what? I'd rather it be South Carolina, please. That's a huge piss off.
I really liked the way that this
Hopefully
match was laid out, though. I think this was like a perfectly paced match, and I like that. I like that they tried to come back out, and this. I don't know how everyone feels about the Frankie Kazarian Elite Hunter thing.
I
I
love
think
it.
it's kind of cool.
I fucking love it.
I like that he like
They did a
they all
similar
came out and
thing with
stopped him.
Bullet Club Hunter with Billy Gunn.
That's
He
it.
was in there.
Ooh.
Also, Jungle Boy is Jungle Chad now because he's dating Anna Jay.
Lucky bastard.
And we have OMFG. I don't know if that's about my North Carolina or about Jungle
No,
Boy and Anna Jay.
Michelle literally just texted me saying she's very upset. I don't know. Yes, we're sorry that apparently this podcast is creating controversy because of one person. Not why we love you.
But
Well,
I
We'll
like
thank God Bully-
the end of the
Bully
match
Ray's not in the
too.
chat.
I like
Thanks
that
for
there
bringing it
wasn't
up.
a big distraction win. Like he cheated still. He pulled his hair and raked his
Yeah.
eyes, and then he kicked out of a big move. Then he hit his finisher and won. It wasn't, and there wasn't a anything like too crazy like that. So
Right.
it wasn't just like a complete like, oh, we're good enough, kid. He still had to cheat, but not in the way that happens all the time with the Good Brothers coming out. But I liked it. I liked the match really a lot overall.
All right, we got to get to a whole new episode of Dynamite. So first
You
match.
still want us to? Sorry, I
we
was
still
gonna do
got-
a joke saying if we had an audience, be like, or if we had a live studio audience, be like, you still want us to talk WWE? We got all night.
All right. I'll sign up. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, bye guys.
Yeah. All right, you can look at these WWE Elite figures, but that's about it. So next,
Or we can talk like AEW Monday Night Raw.
yeah, AEW Monday Night Raw. Okay, but let's get, we gotta get on. We gotta get focused here.
yeah,
Eddie Kingston and Pentagon versus the Young Bucks. If Eddie and Pentagon win, they get a title shot. They won. They get a title shot. This was my favorite match of the night. That might be considered a hot take.
It was my favorite match tonight too. If Dante Martin's Sunset Flip wasn't the best move of the week, it was the Twisting Code Red that got the legitimate 3 count. But that move, I rewound. I don't ever really rewind things anymore because I've seen so many cool moves in wrestling that it's hard to impress me to the point I want to watch it again. And I rewound that when he like spun in midair into that Code Red from Penta. That was super dope. I was really glad there was no big post-match fight. That they just kind of won and we didn't have a million elite people run out like they normally do.
Right.
So I'm glad they showed a little restraint there.
I did like the spray going backfiring. No pun intended.
The spray was hilarious, actually. How he just like panicked and kept spraying, and then he got knocked off the mat and kept spraying into the air.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, this is my favorite match of the night, and Ethan Page had an interview, a decent little interview. Then we had
Christian also talked to Jungle Boy again after that. Like, I keep getting like heel, like bad guy vibes every time Christian talks to Jungle Boy. It just seems like so condescending. Maybe it's not supposed to come off that way, but I keep reading that into it. I guess
that would make for some great Botchamania endings with the Brandon Cutler spray. Yeah, I see. Like eventually, Christian might turn, especially after his program with Big Money Matt's over. Definitely seeing that happening. But
I thought the Darby run in here was kind of weird. The video he showed was like super short, and then he just came out of the coffin really fast. I don't think that didn't work for me, and I almost always love everything involving Darby Allin, like pretty much 100% of the time. This was a little bit of a miss. I don't know if you guys ever seen the original Django movie, like the Italian spaghetti western, but he's a cowboy that carries a coffin around with him all the time, and in the back of it has like a minigun. But I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. I wish they would have just showed Sting like walking across the desert like Django, but they didn't do that.
Did you watch Django during your old manly movie nights?
Yes, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
it's a great. If anyone likes spaghetti westerns, check out the original Django. It's an incredible movie.
But
actually,
yeah,
I think just my personal opinion, I wouldn't have anybody in the coffin. Just literally Darby just coming from the crowd and he just attacks Ethan and Scorpio.
it was
That's
just like
what I was
blocked
actually more hoping
weirdly
for.
and staged
Is-
weirdly. That's a big problem. I actually think I have that wrote down here. Like, I think that's one of the biggest problems is like the segments and the blocking of like the shots and the pacing of a lot of things with run-ins and
Mm.
promos in AEW is just awkward. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
just still growing pains or what
Mm.
that is, but I think there's a lot of weirdly like mistimed things, and this seemed
Well,
like really odd to me.
And yeah, that was a big. I mean, we saw mistime stuff from like in Blood and Guts too. So, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
Jungle Boy versus Jack Evans. I'm not the world's biggest Jack Evans fan, but
No.
this match was what it was.
it's a little bit of a cool trickle down thing from them having the win-loss record, the 50th win thing.
That is
Something
cool.
I never really thought
That-
about,
that was
but it makes it kind of
amazing.
cool. I'm actually, what do you guys think about the Hardy Christian feud? Because I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm actually pretty into it for what it
I'm
is.
into it, but it's kind of like it's kind of one of those. It is what it is. It's kind of an interesting take because it is kind of the. I hate to say the other guy, but it's like it's kind of the other guy in the from the tag team, because whenever you think of the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian, a lot of people think of Jeff and Edge, despite the fact that both Matt and Christian were pretty damn great as singles too. But
Mhm.
yeah,
For me,
I don't
To
I'm
me,
mind-
it's a
just
good way
like-
to use the older guys, kind
I
of like
don't
the two gunslingers having a battle again, and
yeah,
like
I don't mind
you know, it's
it,
not-
but it's not.
no one. Yeah,
For
no,
me,
they
I'm
don't
just
have to beat
waiting
any
on-
up and coming guy for it. Like it's just something for them to do for a while, and to me, they're doing a good job of it. To me,
Right.
I'm just waiting on where are you actually going to go with this? Are we going to see them fight on Dynamite? Or are you building this up to All Out? Like, what purpose are you having for Matt
I think this will
Hardy
be a
and Christian?
Dynamite match. I don't think this will be on a
I could see
pay-per-view.
them doing All Out. I could see that happening.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, isn't Matt Hardy supposed to be like broke right now because his pay got sent to Adam Page or something?
I think the quarter's
I don't know,
over. I
Oh,
don't
the
know.
quarter's over,
If
okay.
somebody, if
Because even I'm
somebody,
like,
if
whoever's
somebody
the
knows something
mathematician
about
on the
how
show, can
finances
you-
work and they're watching this stream, let us know
Yes,
how that works.
please. Because I know it's like it's just it's only wrestling. Why are you taking this so seriously? It's like no, but if you're actually saying all of your first quarter earnings are going to Adam Page, then I rather had just see Matt Hardy look like he's struggling with his finances, so he's relying on other people from the house Hardy to kind of support
He
him
said
a
something
little.
about that afterward. He basically was just like, "Yeah, that sucks, but I got a lot of money." Like it was like the week after or
Okay,
something.
but maybe a lot of those monies went to bills or supporting the kids or Ruby or
They did a
paying
thing.
the
He did a
house
thing where he
party.
said like kind of like it's like almost like a South Park joke where it was like okay guys, we're gonna make it through this, but we're not gonna be able to build that mini golf course in the backyard. We're not gonna be able to do that. We're not gonna be able to go to we're not gonna be able to go to like was having all these like extravagant things like we're not gonna be able to do that. It's like this old South Park joke during the whole Metallica versus Napster. There was like the whole see that? There's Lars now. Lars is gonna have a solid gold pool put in with a built-in Shark Tank bar, but now because of illegal downloading, he's gonna have to wait. Wait a few months.
I was like still trying to process like, wait, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, oh god, that episode.
So so basically that was it. But we gotta move on unless there's anything else about
What was the Andrade segment next? All I wrote was Andrade continues to be botched. I don't remember what happened though.
he challenged Matt Sydal. That's about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He
okay. Well then
I
that
got a little ahead of myself talking about it in the last one, but
we had okay.
well, we had a
think
really
we had
good segment.
Miro. We had a Miro for the TNT match.
Well,
against...
before we get there, we got
oh,
we
before we get
got
Kenny
got-
segment, Kenny
got a
promo,
Kenny segment where
Oh
he,
yes.
which I thought was great.
I
A
thought
great
it was
promo
great.
when he started.
I
Yes,
liked the
exactly.
tease with the Dark Order. I thought this was very
See,
well done.
I think Kenny's promo when he started was awesome, and I think his Kenny was. This is one of his better like promo segments I
Yes.
think he's had in a while.
This
but
is like the cleaner I love.
I
It's
do
like,
not want the
are
Dark
you
Order in this
talking
feud.
about the guy who I used to be tagging? Are you talking about the guy? It's like, you can just say his name, man. You could say Hangman Adam Page. This isn't Beetlejuice. But
Yeah,
actually, having the Dark Order is actually interesting. I mean, they've never had a
It
feud
brings
with
the
Kenny
feud
before,
down
so it's like,
though,
maybe.
I don't think it does.
because
I don't
I think
so.
it does, because this is like the thing you've been building for like 2 years, and now like if the Dark Order's extent of them being involved is them doing this and then them
Well, the
encouraging
Dark
him,
Order
that's
is what
cool.
is what's helping him find is like what helped him find himself among depression again, because he got manipulated by FTR. The Dark Order is what brought him out of his complete despair. So of course the Dark Order is going to be involved.
They redeemed the segment later.
Yeah, at least backstage
that made
later,
it better.
They had Hangman coming back saying like, "Yeah."
But I don't want any
slandering
more
Dark Order,
interaction
we
with the
promise.
Dark Order and Hangman. I think
Michelle
that they
didn't say it
can
in the
just
past. She really
encourage
just texted me.
Hangman, but no more like Kenny Dark Order interaction. If they just want to have backstage segments where they like gas him up, that's cool.
I disagree, because eventually in the lead up to this match, Kenny's going to have to do some things to get some heat. And you know what's going to get you some heat? Beating up some defenseless people in the Dark Order. Like, that's Wrestling 101.
It just brings it down to me. They're not on that level. This is like I don't know. This is like if you throw in like Al Snow into like the Rock and Austin build. Like
No.
It is. They're not jobbers.
Actually, would this take it too far, having Kenny in the Elite kidnapping -1, or is that way too far?
No, but I'm not going with that. But like,
okay,
but going back to Nick's,
that's the only thing that would be acceptable.
Wait, I was gonna say you are real heat.
Hey, no, but like this would be the equivalent of like, okay, you want to somehow like get something compared to when Undertaker beat up David Flair in the build up to WrestleMania 18. That's what that'd be the equivalent of. Or when you had Rated RKO versus DX, and they beat up Ric Flair and Jim Duggan because of their ties to Shawn and Hunter. Like,
this would be like if they beat up Hornswoggle when Hornswoggle.
No, it would not.
DX.
No, it would not.
Yeah, this is they are well. I like the Dark Order, but they are well below this level. They do not need to be involved in the top feud you've been building to for 2 years.
Dark Order is a lot more over than you're giving it credit for.
I'm not saying they're not, but they're not at that level. They do not need to be like heavily involved in the top feud in your company.
I'm not saying he doesn't. Hangman doesn't need to join the fucking Dark Order, but I'm saying like I said, to get some heat on Kenny, because Chicago's gonna cheer Kenny unless you really get some fucking heat on him. Having him beat up Reynolds and Silver and Evil Uno, yeah, that would get some heat. Having the Elite do that.
Oh no, even maybe Kenny unmasking Evil Uno. That will get you heat.
Maybe. I don't know if that might be, you might be giving up too much in the long run with something like that, but yeah.
Oh hey, Miss Ace had the same idea as me. I'd be down for that.
All right, so we got to get to the next match. TNT Championship match, Brian Pillman Jr. versus Miro. Really, I thought this was a good match. I like Brian Pillman Jr. just continues to get better. You know what I mean?
I agree. I really like the presentation of the Varsity Blondes too, with what's her Julia?
Yes, Julia Hart.
Julia Hart. I think she was a good addition. I think that I really like them as a team, and I agree. I like Brian Pillman Jr. and this was everything it needed to be. I think gave him just enough to like look like he belonged in that title picture, but Miro's he's unstoppable right now. I do like his new entrance music.
Now see, Eric was just saying he didn't like it.
Really?
I like it.
I like it. I love this weird like.
Is Eric still on the call?
No, he said he was dropping out.
Oh, I thought he was dropping out. I thought he was joking about dropping out because we're talking about WWE.
No, he actually did drop it out. No, it's fine.
I do like this weird like Soldier of God gimmick though. I think it's so like it's kind of funny, but also like not like cheesy funny to me. He's like, I thank God for my hot wife and my big muscles. Like I think that's hilarious.
You know what Miro is? He's Christian AF.
Nick won't get that
Yes.
joke.
I get it. I watch AEW.
You want not being the elite though, but yeah, I
No,
like
I do not want
this.
being the elite.
I haven't
They've
even watched it in a
worn
long
the
time.
Christian AF shirt
Now it's time
before.
for me to piss off a lot more people.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, like this. I'm gonna lose subscribers this week, I'm sure. So Dr. Britt Baker and
Yep.
Rebel versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. I don't want to see Vicky Guerrero. I didn't want to see her wrestle in a match in 2008 in the WWE. I don't want to see her wrestle a match in 2021 in AEW. I mean, I like her as a manager. I understand what they're going for, but just because you understand what they're going for does not mean you like it. You feel me?
No, even I'm like, I thought she was gonna look good wrestling, but it's like, it was
Again,
I
kind of
feel like the one-
going back to what I said
did
last
the
week,
one-
there'd be
I did
no
like the one
excuse for
shout out
WWE
to
doing
Eddie,
this.
but that was it.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think that I didn't think that would. I thought you were gonna say you liked it because you said this is gonna you're gonna make people mad with this. I don't know. I agree. She's not like a wrestler. I don't know what
No.
what did this do for anybody, for one thing. And
It's like Roman
so confused
Reigns
by
gonna
this
have-
feud.
Yeah, who am I supposed to be rooting for? Because like,
Exactly. Who's the good one here? It seems like it's Britt, but that doesn't make
I
any
know,
sense.
it's-
And why
it's
has
like, are
Nyla
we
challenged for
going
the
for-
championship 3,000 times? She's had like so many
Yeah.
shots at the title. Like every single champion, like they beat someone. It's like you have a few with Nyla, then a different woman, then Nyla, then a different woman. Like she's just always in that picture.
Also, is Britt going for like an anti-hero where it's like people will still cheer her, but she'll be like, yeah, whatever.
That
Like
that
when
is
Becky
a
Lynch was
WWE
going through
move.
that.
Like it's like, hey, she's over. Got to turn her now. You know.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
core
I'm
problem I've
just-
had with AEW from the start. That I do, that's just like a fundamental disagreement I have. I remember Cody saying like, "Good guy," like he said, he said heel and face is like over. Like we don't have those in wrestling anymore, and I couldn't disagree with that more. I think it just makes things less. I can't get as into it, and I think everyone pretty much generally agrees with that statement.
Right.
So I don't know why that. That's just what they think. They think that that's where we're at. Just, every character's an individual and they're not just bad guys or good guys. But I disagree with that. And I think two bad guys, two bad girls fighting each other doesn't do anything for me. Not interested in this feud. I am interested in Britt Baker and, Nyla Rose too. Like Nyla Rose has had some pretty dang good matches. I remember her match with Riho I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
But there's just like, this is just I've seen this from Nyla before like 5 times of her like challenging for the title and putting someone through a table and like it's doing nothing for me.
Yep.
Am I the only one that actually thought I actually kind of liked the Nyla putting Britt through a table? I thought that was cool. I don't know why. Tables just amuse me.
No, there's a lot of
Yeah,
people
it's a
that
cool
thought it was-
move.
It's a
It
cool
looks
move,
cool.
and there's a lot of people that thought it was cool. I'm just that's why I'm saying this is probably gonna piss some people
Mm-hmm.
off because I'm saying like, yeah, this didn't do much for me compared to where the women's division was before we had that shitty streak of Friday night shows. You know,
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
I think once they get back on the road and we start getting the crowds again, like things are gonna pick up. You know, that somebody put out on Twitter earlier, like, God, Britt's had a shitty reign. I'm like, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think you can say that.
Also, hey,
You know.
speaking about picking up, AEW's ratings this week was 883K.
That's
So
good.
that's actually
Good.
That's
that's
good.
not bad. That's near a million mark, and we're probably gonna have that next week when they're in Miami.
Maybe. We'll
How,
see.
Yeah, I said might.
they-
I said might. We will.
They said something about the Andrade match after this. How is Matt Sydal number 5th ranked?
I don't know.
I'm very confused about that. They said like the number 5th
It-
5 ranked Matt Sydal versus Andrade.
It's like whose line? The rankings don't matter.
But they do.
They do, yeah. They do sometimes. I
Well,
wish they did more, but I don't
sometimes,
hate
but-
the way they do the ranking system. But I was just confused. I was like, Matt Sydal, really? Like he's number 5. But I thought that was Alan Angels.
All right. That's a good one. All right, so now it's time for we're really going to divide the fan base right now with this next one. Main event time. Sammy Guevara versus MJF. It was almost the match of the year. And then someone kicked out of a top rope tombstone pile driver. And then it went to hell.
Wait,
Well,
Okay,
we've
I don't
talked
know
about
whether
this a
I was
lot
probably.
in our messages.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know
And-
whether I was daydreaming or something, but didn't we have Penta Kingston against the Bucks? Did we already talk that?
We talked about that the early part of the show, yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so never mind.
Yep.
Mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I
This
said
what
this.
happens. We do late night shows.
Exactly.
I'm just like, wait, what?
So, yeah. I would have liked for Eric to
I'm
have
back
been
on
here
reality.
because I'd like to hear his take because I know his taste's going to greatly differ from what Nick and I are thinking. And like I said, and, me and Nick kind of took a different angle when discussing this privately because I feel like this is more of a wrestling problem than an AEW problem, but on this night it was an AEW problem. This match was phenomenal until they kicked out of too much. And I'm not
That really killed it for me.
I'm
So
not Jim
I was kind
Cornette.
of typing. Yeah, I was kind of typing like a running diary of my notes on this match, and I wrote maybe the new match of the night, and then I wrote okay, top rope tombstone, 2 count, too much, and then kick out 630, ridiculous. Ended up not liking this match. Like those are my thoughts like as that happened. Like I'm seeing in my little notes like me going from liking this match to not liking it.
And there was a legit 3. Like, I know there's a lot of people like, oh, it was like borderline close. It was like a 2 count. But it's like, no, we could see there was a 3. But that's
saw,
just us.
So I saw Brian Alvarez talk about this earlier, but I said that was going to say the same thing on the show tonight, which is that when he did the top rope tombstone and then he started like, going to his knee, like MJF really hurt his knee when he did the move. Why not just have him not be able to go for the pin because he hurt his knee? That would have really saved the match almost.
Yes, if he
If,
would
like-
not be able to go to the pin because he hurt his knee, and then
And he just, he jumps to the side of the ring and holds his knee, and then he crawls over, but it's already been 10 seconds, so we get to kick out. I can buy that. But to just do it and then go for you have a built-in way to not have you kick out of a middle rope tombstone, but they just decided not to do it.
yeah,
And it really took me out.
And the 630, there should have been either like a referee pull out from Spears or foot on the ropes.
Something. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
well, they did the Sammy pinned he hit his GTS is, the flip, which I think is a super cool move, and the GTS needs to be more protected too, but it just isn't. They hit like that's almost like a Canadian destroyer because I've always let the go to sleep as a super cool move, but he hits that flipping one and he pinned him and he like over shot that like pulled his legs too far over where they were dangling over the rope. If they would have done that on the 630 and had him just kick out of the GTS because he hits that in every match and it never wins, and then had done the thing with the pile driver, this match would have been amazing. But I don't know. There's just like a couple little things that I feel like could have been easy solutions. And I'm not a wrestler, so I'm not going to sit here and I am Monday morning quarterbacking the match, but who am I to really tell a wrestler how to put a match together? But to me, it just seems like there's some obvious ways to make this match, for my taste, much better.
Yeah. So then we have a really nice tribute to Daly's Place, for taking care of AEW during the pandemic, and it's really nice. And then Jim Ross says, "We'll see you next week on WWE Dynamite."
It's like I was like, I had to do a double take. It's like, wait, what? And I was texting one of my friends. It's like, hold on, did Jim Ross just say WWE Dynamite? And we both thought like maybe he just said AEW too fast, but it's like no. Even Twitter was confirming he said WWE Dynamite. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake! And I don't care how people are going to take this, but I legitimately believe I don't think I want Jim Ross's commentary anymore. It's like, listen, I love you wholeheartedly for the childhood memories you have given us, but It's time. I want you to have a nice, quiet life. Keep selling your kick-ass barbecue sauce. You could still talk like memories of wrestling from other promotions, but it's like, listen, I would rather have a commentary team featuring Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Taz or Chris Jericho. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
It's been a good
I'm over
run,
Jim.
but
I'm over Jim
I'm
Ross.
sorry, JR, but we
Like,
need
I
to
wouldn't
go.
mind him
At
coming
least
back for a few special matches, for some main events,
Yeah.
to keep doing the interview segments.
least-
But and I
At
will
least
say that
for-
I will say this: the people that like sent him death threats and shit went too fucking far. That's bullshit.
Too far. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But I would just say you made a mistake, and I just believe you should retire fully. Because at least with Tony Schiavone, like, he's still got it.
Right.
And he could do it with Excalibur or Taz or Chris Jericho, or hell, I'll even go so far as saying Don freaking Callis. And he was part of All In. I would, yes, I am literally saying this on the air. I would rather hear Don Callis on commentary, because even when it's a Kenny match, he's talking about the other guy as well. He's talking to wrestling, even though he's showboating and cheerleading for his guy, but he's still talking about wrestling.
I found a meme.
Oh boy.
That I'll have to go back and refind it to read it, but it pretty well hit the nail on the head about, like, this is like what JR is these days. But while I'm waiting for that,
I'm an ardent JR defender, but I will save that maybe for a different time. But I definitely don't want them to get rid of JR. I want him to continue in his current role.
But the fact that he's done like so many like announcing mistakes, it's like, it's one thing if you've done it like once or twice in a year. Now I'm starting to see this frequency.
Notice
it's like, yeah, obviously you're starting to like notice it more frequently, and it's like,
It says, okay, here it is. Excalibur. Huge news for next week's Dynamite in St. Louis. Steve Austin makes his AEW debut. Yeah. St. Louis. I'm excited to try those toasted ravioli. His opponent will be straight from hell, the reanimated corpse of Chris Benoit. I mean, it's pasta, but breaded. That's Jay.
Toasted Ravs is fire, though.
Even though we really shouldn't say that CB name on the air, it's like, okay, that's kind of funny. But Steve Austin in AEW, I think
never gonna happen.
Grave, and he's not, obviously not.
But yeah, that is everything. He kept calling, yep. But Bully Ray's saying he's still great, so he must be great. And that is the show for this week. Thank you all for tuning in. No, we might have offended some people with a few of these hot takes tonight, but I think overall they were all pretty fair. If you disagree, feel free to let us know in the comments section below, or let me know on social media: Facebook.com/AthleticGeek89, Twitter @Athletic_Geek89, Instagram @AthleticGeek89. It's easy for me to say. If you enjoyed, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of gaming, anime, comic books, and all things geek culture. Definitely check out some of the other stuff I'm doing. I interviewed Billy Starks, who's really making her name around the independent scene in pro wrestling. She's great. Check out the interview and check out her matches, and be on the lookout for other interviews and other podcasts as well, and keep your eye on the Collection Comic of the Week. Got a new theme coming this month. George Perez Jr. was great, but we talked about America. Fuck yeah! I'll just drop the bomb. It's Captain America month in the month of July.
Hey.
All right. Easy. You have some social media to plug?
Yes, I do. So, guys, you can follow me at Eric Zarins. That's my formal name, but for the world of wrestling, I go by Easy. And also, during the entire month of July, I'm doing something special that you can actually find on my Facebook. I'm taking part in the 25 push-ups a day challenge for the American Cancer Society. I have donations that are coming in, but yeah, whatever you can. If you have me on Facebook, please donate what you can. If you don't have me on Facebook, feel free to add me. It's the same as my Twitter, sort of, kind of. And it's just good for motivation and just great money being donated to these guys. They're amazing people, and especially like I've known people who they lost their lives from cancer or they're
Right.
battling it. So just like I said, anything helps, and it'll be awesome. And then on that note, I will be in Washington, D.C. on July the 4th for the 4th of July to celebrate America Fuck Yeah Day. And going to do some most American things. It's going to be watching some baseball, watching some fireworks, and avoiding people at all costs if they're saying that, oh, my leader's better than yours. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just here for the fireworks. So,
And if you
but
drink,
anyways, if you're in the DC,
and drink beer, you should drink your first beer.
No, I don't drink. No, I am not drinking. No,
All right,
especially if I'm doing 25 push-ups a day. Not happening.
That's true. Nick, do you still have any active social media?
No, I just want to plug the movie Django. Watch Django. Sergio Corbucci directed. Frank Nero. It's great. Spaghetti Western where a guy kills a bunch of Klansmen. It's an awesome movie. You should check it out.
Yes. And I know Eric probably has some stuff
also-
for sale on Macari. I know you had to duck out early, but buy stuff from him from Macari.
You have 150 subscribers now.
I do, don't I?
Yes, you do.
It always fluctuates so much. I don't look at it. I notice when it goes down, but I never notice when it goes up anymore. But awesome, 150. Thanks.
No, it's at 150. That's cool.
Sweet. Raise
You're
the roof.
welcome. You noticed
160.
who recently came back to the channel.
You also notice who's also been getting more interviews.
Me.
All right, how about this for a challenge? If we get 200 subscribers by Full Gear, I will drink bubbly. And
Do
I
that.
mean the bubbly.
Make that happen. Let's go.
And I will do the 25 push-ups in a
only-
year challenge.
Only if you get 200 subscribers by AEW Full Gear.
Yes, so
then I will take one sip of the bubbly.
Take a sip. Eric, come on, let's go on this.
Yeah.
Find 50 friends and tell those 50 friends to have more 50 friends. Pyramid scheme this so we can have Easy drink alcohol, one sip of it, one time. All right, for Easy, for Nick,
Please
for Eric,
don't
who
make
had to
it
duck
happen,
out.
but subscribe to us.
Yeah. For Easy, Nick, and Eric Wade, who had to duck out. We are just Marks, and we're out. Have a good one.
Good night.
Peace.
All right.